the next piece of news. So let's see what now is happening with Sonia Gandhi. Now, the Congress Parliamentary Party chairperson, Sonia Gandhi, on Saturday sharply criticized the Modi government over its response to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, alleging that its stony silence and inaction had undermined both India's moral standing and strategic interests. In an opinion article published in a leading national daily, she argued that India's current foreign policy had alienated the country from its traditional partners in Palestine, Iran, and the wider Middle East, while allowing Pakistan to project itself as a mediator in the region. She also described Prime Minister Modi's visit to Israel shortly before the US-Israel joint attack on Iran as a bewildering strategic decision. Sonia Gandhi contended that India had a moral obligation to speak out against the humanitarian situation in Gaza and the occupied West Bank, while its national interests also demanded a response in line with growing international criticism of Israel's military campaign. The Modi government's continued silence simply cannot be explained rationally or morally, she said. So this is something that, Sonia Gandhi feels is very important. But then my question to Sonia Gandhi would be, the very, very big issue of where, so many thousands of young white British girls who have been gang raped, by Pakistani individuals who have come into the country, has not even come into her scrutiny at all. And why? Why so? I mean, are these little girls of absolutely no significance to her? So why is she only focused on Gaza? Just like, you have the whole of Bollywood. Every time something happens, all these actresses, right from Kareena to everybody, they're holding placards and saying that, see, we have to save Gaza. But when the same thing happens in India or in any other country, they keep their eyes closed. So these kind of double standards is something that she really needs to look back on. And see, if you look at, she's arguing that India has historically stood for post-colonial solidarity and sovereignty, that government's stony silence on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza betrays these constitutional values and India's long-standing support for the Palestinian cause. Now, we would also ask her, why did she keep quiet when all these atrocities were happening in Bangladesh? When someone so innocent as an ISKCON priest was taken into prison and tortured, but innocent Hindus were being hanged and killed and burnt. Why was Sonia Gandhi not raising her voice then? Is my question. So suddenly, why does Gaza keep popping up in the Congress vocabulary each time? So another point that they're making is that she claims that by deepening its special strategic partnership with Israel, India has moved into a strategic orbit that is increasingly isolated as the global community pivots away from Israel's action in Gaza. She argues that this alignment has alienated India from its historical allies in West Asia, such as Iran and Palestine, and has allowed nations like Pakistan to fill the vacuum to position themselves as mediators. Now, one thing I'd like to seriously ask Ms. Gandhi is that since when has she started writing? Okay, now when you say that she's writing an article, that means there must be a journalist within her. But we have never seen this journalistic quality in this lady before. So, are you pretending to write when somebody else is writing for you? So that is also something that the country can ask you. Now, also the fact that the BJP now has characterized Sonia Gandhi's remarks as selective criticism and accused her of prioritizing vote bank politics, which is exactly what is happening over national interest. This reflects the broader high-stakes political environment where the opposition seeks to undermine the government's moral authority by challenging its handling of sensitive international issues. Now, if you were to take, what is happening in India, if you look at the way Prime Minister Modi is handling issues, he's never taken sides. Have you noted that? He's always, friendly with everybody. So this makes, opposition parties rather, they feel very scared because they don't know how to handle it. He's a friend with Iran, as well as he's a friend with America. He's a friend with Russia and with the European allies. So what is happening is that they cannot dissect every movement that Modi is making. Modi makes moves to safeguard India's interests, something that she and her party has never done, because we were known as a poor country when they ruled. When UPA ruled, we were one of the poorest countries. We were known for having beggars on the streets, and people mocked the way our country was, how dirty it was. We didn't have good highways. Madam, did anybody question you about your own reign? Nobody did. So why do you keep on putting this Gaza thing? It's like a key that is stuck in a piano. You keep on playing the same key. So this is something that we really need to look at. So let me just take some questions that are coming in. Very lovely points coming in. So Lena says, Italian lady never said a word when Hindus were killed and raped inside Bangladesh. Yes, Hindus don't matter, or they're not significant to her thinking. Okay, and then she names her children with Hindu names. Okay, and whenever they are on election mode, they always wear the tikka and they wear saris and Indian attire. So you want to be an Indian, but you don't care about the Hindus. And when what happened in Bangladesh, you never really cared about it. Now, Dhanashri says, why to blame Modi ji behind Palestine and Israel? What is the logic behind this? Seriously. So these are questions that the viewers are really, really asking. Has a country Italy condemned Israel? Very, very valid point coming from Leena. And she says, Dhanashri says, in fact, these film stars were quiet when the Pahalgam attack took place. Even today, Dhanashri, none of these Akshay Kumars and all, they'll do yoga, they stand on their heads, and all these Shilpa Shettis and all, they'll do all that. But when it comes to talking for Hindus, love jihad, and all that's happening, they'll keep silent. Why? Are they, why are they quiet? Are they being paid from across the border? So these are all questions that everybody will ask. So let me just take a few more comments that are coming in. Sunita says, all these years the party gave this color that Sonia Gandhi is dealing with a lot of health issues, so she isn't active. Now suddenly what is all this? And this is precisely the point, Sunita, because everybody from Dr. Subramanya Swamy to everybody was saying that she keeps going to the hospital for, and she had some kind of, allegedly she had some kind of cancer and all that. But we don't see her as, sick for even a moment. She seems to be galloping around like a pony. So this is something that we don't understand. And Nina says she isn't sick. So these are questions that everybody is asking. So why get into Gaza when you have, our country has enough problems for you to sort out? For example, in Karnataka, the infrastructure is so bad. They're not bothered about immediately starting work. 3 years have passed under Siddaramaiah. Not a road has been, rectified. No infrastructure has been done. Now suddenly, the minister who's, looking after this is making, showing us, on Instagram and all little roads that are being done in such a slipshod manner. First, Congress and the other opposition parties have to learn to make public lives, happier, to make their lives easier. They haven't done that, is it? So